This is Geometry Semester 1. It is the Unit Congruence number 7. It's the fourth lesson, Angle Side Angle, ASA, Congruence Postulate Practice. It's on creatormath.com under the Geometry tab. You might have to Google creatormath.weebly.com to find the site. The instructions are copy the following problems into your composition book on the correct pages according to the table of contents with the notes for those pages from creatormath.com. So let's show where the notes are first on the website, just so you know where to find those. Those go in your composition book first, and that will help you do the problems that we're about to do right now. So here's the website, creatormath.weebly.com. Here's the home page. There we go. And here's what it should look like. If you have any questions about your composition book, please scroll down until you see composition book in big letters. Watch all the videos, follow all the deadlines, and follow all the instructions there. And if you do all that, you should have a 90 to 100% on your composition book. We're going to geometry. This is where all the lessons, the videos, the problem sets, and the vocabulary are. In fact, this vocabulary geometry practice study PDF right here has all the vocabulary for the entire school year. And if you don't know how to search that yet, then you might not be getting 100% on your vocabulary practices. But if you open this document, save it to your device, and then Google how do I search a PDF on the device you're on, it'll explain to you how to search that, and you should be getting 100% on your vocabulary practices. Or close to it. It's not a perfect document. There are a few errors here and there that I haven't been able to root out yet. So I'm going to go to the semester of this lesson we're on. This is the table of contents. You should have copied this in its entirety onto pages 2 through 6 of your composition book. It takes about 3.5 pages to do. It lists all the page numbers of everything where we're going to put where through the entire semester. So we're going to scroll down to the unit that this video is for. There it is. Congruence. So this is the unit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lessons within the unit. This is lesson number 4 right here, ASA, or Angle Side Angle Congruence Postulate. Here are the page numbers that these notes go on in your composition book. Please don't take this video's word for it, but look up the actual table of contents on creatormath.com, because by the time you watch this video, these page numbers will likely be different. All right, here's the notes. I'm going to click this. Sometimes I have to click twice to open it. There we go. Open the first time. If you can expand it like this, then download it. All right, but if you can't, then you might have to do that a second time. So these notes go in your comp book on the pages we discussed, given two triangles with two corresponding equal angles and equal included sides. What can be said about the two triangles where we're going to say they are congruent? So this is the fourth lesson on congruency. By now, here are some things you should know. You should know what congruent means. In geometry, congruent means multiple aspects of equality. So if we're talking about are two triangles congruent, it means are they exactly the same shape and size? Multiple aspects of equality. So we have things like angles, right? Do the corresponding angles, and corresponding means matching up. So matching locations on different shapes. So let's say it's a triangle and you're talking about the lower left angle. That would be the lower left angle, or you're talking about the smallest angle in the two. They would match up as corresponding to each other. They're the same location but in different shapes. That's what corresponding means. Now we're talking about two angles here and the included sides. So let's go ahead and look at a graphic maybe. So this is called the angle side angle congruence postulate. If we have two triangles with two equal corresponding angles and equal included side, and an equal included side, the two triangles are congruent. So here's an example. Now the orientation of this triangle is upside down, right? So take this in your mind and rotate it this way so that the base would be on the bottom like this one is. If the base were on the bottom and you went to the left, right? So you rotated this way, you went to the left, it would have 2 tick marks, and you went to the right, it would have 1 tick mark. So because we have a triangle with an equal angle to this one, if it were rotated, right? And it will probably, for this first example, I kind of wish I had drawn them in the same orientation to make this explanation a little bit quicker and easier for you to understand. But it is the fourth lesson, so you might be able to now rotate this in your mind or even redraw it. we would have an angle side angle, and that is what this postulate is. If we have an angle side angle equal of two triangles, we can now say that they are congruent. Okay, so why is it congruent? Because we have an equal angle and then the included side and an equal angle in corresponding locations. So now here's multiple examples of this. 110.42 and the side included is 7. 110.42 and the included side is 7. Because we have angle side angle of both, angle side angle, and they match, we can now say that these two triangles are congruent no matter how they're drawn. See how the drawing doesn't look the same? That doesn't matter. We have enough data to now say they are exactly the same shape and size. They are congruent. Why? And we write it triangle ABC. This is the congruency symbol and equals with a squiggly line on top. Triangle DEF because of ASA, or angle side angle congruency, or congruence postulate. Here's vocab. Congruent is this symbol. Included side means between the two angles. Corresponding means matching locations on two different shapes. And a postulate is a definition as opposed to a theorem, which is a proof which uses postulates or definitions to prove it. Okay, so enough of the notes. That should be in your comp book. Let's go straight to the problems. Does my marker work? What does congruent mean? It means more than equal. Okay, and that's kind of a way I like to explain it. It means equal corresponding angles and equal corresponding sides. It's multiple aspects of equality. We used to have just 3 equals 3, right? And that was equal. But now we have something more complicated. We have two shapes. Shapes with angles, right? 3 angles. Locations of those angles, right? And then we have sides. And if they all match up, right, now we can say that is congruent. Let's put 3 and 3 like this, right? So congruent means these two shapes are exactly the same shape and the same size, right? That's what congruency means in geometry. What is proportional? So larger or smaller by a scale factor, right? Every time we talk about proportional, we break out one of the models we have here. Let's use a different model. We have some other models here. They all, over the years, you guys, they've taken a beating. So here's a different Coast Guard helicopter. This is different than the Augusta A109 I always show. I forget what this one is. I have to do some looking around here to remember what kind of helicopter this is. Oh yeah, this is a 1/48 scale Dauphin. D-A-U-P-H-I-N. It's I forget what these are called. The anti-torque rotor back here has some name. And anyway, the point is a scale model that is, it looks like the real thing, but it's shrunk down, right? So this is the same shape as the large full-scale helicopter. It's just a different size. That's what proportional means. So proportional means larger or smaller by a scale factor, also called similar in geometry. And that's a hard word for students to get down because they're used to using similar as just meaning vaguely alike, right? If two things are similar, they're kind of alike. Well, in geometry it has specific meaning, proportional. So what's the symbol for congruence? It's this one here. It's an equals with a squiggly. What is the symbol for similarity? It is this one here. It's just a squiggly. That means similar or proportional. All right, let's go straight into a problem. Let's move some things out of the way. So now they're telling us that these two are congruent. By what congruent postulates are they congruent? So they want us to tell the reason why. So let's look at what they give us. They give us a side equal to a side, and it might be easier. Let's rotate this one around. If we rotate this around, the 1 tick mark will be here, the 2 tick marks will be here, and this will be 1, 2, 3 down here, right? So if we match up 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, this would be side, side, side congruency postulate. And how can we write it? Triangle ABC is congruent, the symbol, to triangle DEF. This is DEF here. And if we moved around these letters too, it would be like this if we rotated it. We're just rotating it. We're not moving around the letters. We're rotating the shape, and the letters go with the angles. All right? So that's one of our congruency postulates now. In the 4th lesson here, we're dealing with multiple congruency postulates that we learned in prior lessons. The two shapes are congruent. Why? Well, let's rotate this one again. This becomes DEF here, and there's 1 tick mark, 2, and the included angle between the two sides is like this. So does this match this? Yes, those are corresponding sides now. Same location, different shapes. Corresponding double tick mark on the angle and corresponding double tick mark on the side length So this would be side, angle, side, SAS. This proves that these two shapes are congruent. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF because of the side, angle, side congruency postulate. The following two shapes are congruent. By what congruency postulate are they so? Well, let's keep redrawing these to help us see what's going on. The D rotates to there, the E rotates to there, the F rotates to there, and if I drew it a little bit more like the one above might be better. 5 is here, the 12 is down here, and the included angle between them is 1. So the 5 matches up with 5, the angle matches up with 1 tick mark here, if it can be seen, and the 12 matches up with here. This is side, angle, side. So SAS congruency postulate proves that those two are congruent. It's one thing for you to tell us they're congruent. It's another for us to use the details in the problem to prove it. So these are congruent. Let's see what we got here. Let's try to redraw this again. And I appreciate that they left all the letters the same. Makes it a little bit quicker for me to try to go through them. So D is 1 tick mark. E is 2 tick marks, and so it's angle, angle, and the side beyond that over here is 2 tick marks. Does it match up with this one? Yes. Does it match up with this one? Yes. Does it match up with this one? So they're being pretty obvious in all of these problems. There's not much being hidden from us, but we have angle, angle, side, because they're trying to get us to practice these congruency postulates. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF because of the angle, angle, side congruency postulate. So because we have a reason now, we can state that in the affirmative. All right, the following shapes are congruent. Let's do it again. Looks like we have angle, angle, side again. It's going in a different order than the prior problem. Let's rotate this around. The D would be here, the E would go to here on mine, and the F would come to here. The F has 3 tick marks. The EF has 8, and the D angle has 1. D matches up with A. 8 matches up with this BC. And the 3 tick marks matches up C and F, right? So this would be angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side right here. Okay, they are congruent. We can prove it with the angle, angle, side once we see them match up. This looks like an angle, side, angle here, right? I'm already thinking this. Let's rotate and see if we're right. D, E, F. D to E has a double tick mark. E to F. E to F has 2 of these. F has 1, 2, 3. So 2, let's see. This is angle, side, angle. And that matches with angle, side, angle. 2 tick marks here. 2 tick marks here. 2 tick marks here. Angle, side, angle. Let's see. What have we got here? So let's rotate again. D, E, F. Getting better at rotating these now. E's got 2 tick marks, 1, 2. D has 1. And the side between them, included between D and F, is 5. Does that 5 match up with this 5? Yes. Does this angle with 1 tick mark match with that one? Yes. Does this 2 match with this? Those are called all corresponding locations. Angle, side, angle. So this is, yes, they are congruent by angle, side, angle. All right, couple more. This looks like angle, side, angle, and it looks like I'm just going to wing it here. This D has 1 tick mark here with 1 tick mark. Then the side attached to it is 15, and then the angle attached to that is 3. So this is angle, side, angle without even redrawing it. By now I'm getting a little bit better at it. So this one is an angle, side, angle, and it goes from B. So here we have 2 tick marks with 2 tick marks, and then 2 and 2 and 3 after it. And notice they go in an order, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. So I'm okay with them being, I don't have to actually redraw it to get this. This is an angle, side, angle. Right here. All right, so this is, make sure to match up the title, you guys. This is Geometry Semester 1. This is, match up the title of this video with the title of the actual problem set you're doing. Otherwise, it starts to get pretty messy. This is the 7th unit called Congruence, and the 4th lesson called Angle, Side, Angle, Congruence Postulate Practice. It's on creatormath.com under the Geometry tab. Hope this helps.